Let me go back once again in a quick recap. Basically, search engines. Search engines are the algorithms which will be written by the computer scientist to get the data from the database, what we say as a web servers. From the web servers, it is going to pull the link or a thread. Usually the terminology in the computer science, we say it as a thread. The thread will be pulled to the computer screen. Whenever you are going to give the input to the computer through the binary operation, you may be looking at the alphabets, you may be looking at the numbers, but the computer will take as a binary operation. 0 1 0 1 0 1 is the binary operations which is going to be taken up by the computer screen and which will be visualized by you people. Okay, so whenever you give any input of alphabet or any word, or it may be a phrase, so those will be going to the web server through the search engines. The search engine will guide your word or your proverb, or it may be anything which you want to know from the website through the World Wide Web. We say it is a www World Wide Web. Those search engines is going to link up to that particular database, and it will grab the information from the mother servers, and it is going to give you the picture what you want on the screen for visualization or what you want to listen. So it may be audio, or it may be a video file, or it may be an article, or it may be any information, by the way, which is going to give you from the World Wide Web database through the computer screen. So that is a function of search engines. Then coming to the various search engines, just it's a recap. I'm going to go through this all search engines very briefly, maybe in 5 minutes. Very common search engine is a Google. So Google do have a Google Scholar. So whenever you open a Google, either any one of the interfaces, it may be a Microsoft Office Edge, it may be a Google Chrome, or it may be a Firefox, or it may be Safari, or it may be Opera. So those are the systems through which you are going to approach to the any search engines. Okay, so you do have a Google Scholar. I'm talking about the general search engines. Then you do have a Microsoft Academic, which is a rival for the Google Scholar. So they do have a lot of data in the Microsoft Academic, which is going to have a search engine, and it is going to grab these many number of entities for the exploration, along with the authors, publications, and various topics and conferences. Then worldwidescience.org, which is a global science gateway of the Department of Energy, who have developed the search engine, and it is going to grab and translate more than 70 countries data, because you need to have a grabber. Until unless you have a grabber, you are unable to grab the data from the web servers. So they do have incorporation of various languages also, and it has got a translation capacity. Probably if you go to the Google, there will be a tab called Translate. So if you don't know the English, you can translate it to Hindi, or you can translate it to the Portuguese, or you can translate it to the Chinese language. And you do have a science.gov. Once again, it is a gateway of US federal science, and it will look after various 60 databases and 2,000 scientific websites. So which is going to grab the information from these websites. And you do have a reference seek. So it is going to take through you from the various search engines like web pages, encyclopedias, journals, and books. Then you do have an educational resource information center search engine. We set as ERIC. The ERIC will grab the data from 1.3 million bibliographic records of articles, online materials, books, and even research synthesis, conference papers, and technical reports and policy papers. Then you do have a virtual learning resource center, so where it will grab various database from scholarly websites and various databases from universities, and various database from the library if it's going to be connected to the World Wide Web. And this is a very beautiful search engine, Bellyfield Academic Search Engine, which is going to give you a lot of source. It's a voluminous search engine. Apart from Google Chrome, you do have a search engine, which is a topmost search engine in the world, Bellyfield Academic Search Engine, you do get lot of data in this search engine. Then Core basically is a United Kingdom search engine, so which is a world's largest collection of open access research papers. I think Gautam has asked the question. So you do get various research papers free of cost. I think Gautam is hearing to me. So this is a core.ac.uk. I'll give you the links also when you are going to do hands-on. And it do give the access for various libraries and various industries, research industries. And we do have a very recent, this is a very youngest search engine, that is a Semantic Scholar. This is basically artificial intelligence powered search engine, and which is going to grab the literature from various websites. And the PubMed, which all of you people know, because majority of the healthcare professionals, they will go to the PubMed and they will search what they want. You do have a simple search, you do have advanced search. Okay, you do have a, see basically what happens when you are going to compare these search engines. Okay, you do have various formats. In my first slide, soon after the presentation, I have given some picks. Basically, each search engine has its own coverage. So you do search very few articles which have been deposited in few websites, and you do have an abstract search. You do have a related articles. You do have a references and citations by somebody else, and links to the full text, and even you can save it as. So when we are going to work with a hands-on workshop, then probably you will understand all these words, because listening plainly on the lecture, it's very difficult to understand. When you do a hands-on, I'll show you how the different search engines will work. Then this is Semantic Scholar. So I hope till this I am clear. Okay, now we are going to talk about the database. There was one question from one of the participants. What are the database and what's the difference between the search engines? I hope I am clear with the search engine. Search engine is something which is going to grab the data from the database. So let us talk about the databases. So what are the database? In a simple term, database is nothing but a library. When you go to the physical library, you do have various racks. Those racks are going to have various textbooks. It may be orthodontics, it may be physiotherapy, it may be nursing, it may be periodontics, it may be oral surgery, it may be oral medicine, or it may be advanced research science, or it may be material science. Like that, you do have various racks. In the database also, in the digital database, you do have a similar category. So these will be served and saved in the various websites or a mother servers. We say it as a mother servers. I'm going to take you through the databases which are related with only medical database. We are not going to talk about something apart from medical database, because we are going to discuss through the PubMed and we are going to discuss through the Scopus in the next 2 days. That's why I'm going to talk to you people about only these databases. These are exclusive databases where you are going to find the health science literature. So first is a CINAHL. Basically the CINAHL is meant for nurses and allied health professionals and researchers and nurse educators, students. The CINAHL database, it is from ABESCO. ABESCO is a publisher who has having a hosting of this nursing and allied healthcare professional database. And this is majority of authoritative nursing and allied health literature, which is going to be reposited or deposited in this ABESCO host. And it do contain more than 3,604 indexed articles and indexed journals, and where you are going to have 3,112 as of now. As of today's date, you do have these many number of abstracted journals where you are going to get the database from the ABESCO. Basically the ABESCO, you do have a limitation for the access. Why I am talking about the PubMed and Scopus is all other databases do have some restrictions. So whenever you do have a restriction, certainly you are unable to access through that database. Then next is ABESCO host. When you are going to see any ABESCO host, so it is going to look like this. Nowadays the ABESCO has revamped their website. They are getting a mobile app applications. The mobile applications are going to go through nowadays a variety, because everybody is looking after. When the COVID pandemic has come, even the undergraduate students are surfing through the various databases. So you need to have a search engines which are mobile friendly, and you need to have a database which are mobile friendly, because in the desktop we can look after a lot of database in a larger screen. But when it comes to the mobile, if it is not going to be optimized for the mobile screen, it's very difficult for a search. In the EBSCO host, you are going to have academic libraries and public libraries, and you do have a connection with the schools and healthcare systems and various corporations and government agencies and publishers. So all these data will be grabbed into the EBSCO host so that you can go ahead and see. Then coming to APA, this is a psychological database. So American Psychological Association has started a database. In this American Psychology Association database, you do have the database from 1967, and which is a peer-reviewed research in a digital format. Currently, as of now, we do have more than 50 lakh of records in APA Psycho Info, which is basically the database constituting of psychology. And you do have children and magazines and newsletters related to the psychology association, and you do have education and career about the APA database. And coming to Embase, very recently the Embase has come up. In the Embase, this is basically the Elsevier, who is a publisher. The Elsevier has started the database repository in the name of Embase. Embase is researchable, and it is most trusted resource as of now, because they started a agency for indexing journals that we say it as a Scopus. Scopus is one of the indexing agency. Majority of the countries, including Arabian countries, have started asking for the index journals and index articles in either Scopus or PubMed. Those two are one of the largest indexed agencies in the world. Then coming to Web of Science, it is from the Clarivate Analytics, so which has the highest coverage. Apart from PubMed, the Web of Science has the highest coverage, but we do have a very least access because it is a paid version. Web of Science, you need to have either institutional access or you need to pay yourself to get the access to this database. Previously, before the open access journal started publishing, majority of the scientific literature used to be published by the societies. Example, Orthodontic Society of India, International Society of Orthodontics, Society of Pedodontics, Society of Prosthodontics. Like that, the publication used to be done by the societies. They never used to charge the author. But when it comes to the open access policy, the publishing house started taking the money from the author as a author processing charges, APA. We say it as a APA or APC. Okay, those author processing charges is being utilized for indexing and giving the open access articles for everybody. And Web of Science is one of the largest publisher for natural sciences and humanities. It may contain social science, art and humanities, and it supports more than 256 disciplines across the disciplines. Then coming to NIH, already I have discussed about the PubMed is a search engine for a National Library of Medicine. The National Library of Medicine is going to have a database of completely medical science and allied health medical sciences, and it do have a premier containing indexed journals only. There is a drawback of NLM because the journals which is not indexed in a PubMed, you are unable to get those articles which are non-PubMed journals. You are not going to get the database in NLM category. That means whatever the articles you are going to get in a NLM, National Library of Medicine by United States of America, is a standard one, because they do have a criteria to index any of the journals with a stringent criteria, and accessibility and quality of the article will be checked before they are going to get indexation and before they are going to get deposited as a repository for that particular journal. And the journal do have their own policies for deposition in the NLM. they do have an embargo period. Embargo period means from the publication to the access for the public. Once they will publish as a article which is a non-open access, then they do have an embargo period. It may be 6 months to 1 year period where they will not give the access free of cost. And all other things they do have access. Okay. And Medline, it is going to be searchable via PubMed, because already I have explained to people PubMed is a search engine for the Medline database. And the NLM, that is a National Library of Medicine. Okay. It also contains a National Center for Biotechnology Information. Then, so you do have a Scopus. Already I have told you people, Scopus is one of the database by the Elsevier. So they started indexing lot of journals published by themselves, and there were some conflict of interest between the indexing agency. The Scopus has been separated from the publisher, and now the Scopus is having its own agency for scrutinizing the journals and getting it indexed. So when you're going to start exploring the Scopus, probably you are going to be able to see this. Okay. Until unless Scopus also has got a limitation to search, everybody will not have the access for Scopus search. Then next is a Cochrane library. Very recently, I think 2 years back, India has a Cochrane Library Association member. So we could able to access a Cochrane database, which is having the highest evidence. Majority of the systematic review and meta-analysis will be archived in the Cochrane library. And it has its own team for the systematic reviews and meta-analysis. That's why this is most evidenced and most trusted, with better decisions by the team of clinicians, team of researchers, team of academicians who are going to make the publication in the Cochrane library, and they will be automatically deposited or having a repository in the Cochrane library. Then very recently, the open access journals do have a multidisciplinary repositories which are going to have a deposition and preservation and dissemination of research data from various open access journal, that is a CLO, Scientific Electronic Library Online. Scientific Electronic Library Online, you do have a lot of open access publications in the database, and it is going to give you the list of journals, and it is going to divide the journals into agricultural sciences, applied social sciences, biological sciences, engineering sciences, and apart from that, you do have earth science and health sciences. So these are the very broader category of journals and collections which the Scientific Electronic Library Online will have, and will have the access for the database. Then it is one of the premier library of British, where they are going to have a deposition of thesis online service. So this is one of the best thing where you can search all your thesis which are available in UK British Library. So you do have more than 5 lakh doctoral theses in the British Library, which are accessible free of cost. So you do have your own account which can be created in a British Library, and you can access the deposited thesis. I have put some keywords for my search, like a bone healing and graft. Then you got 30 records which are accessible, which is going to contain bone healing and graft. So coming to National Library of Medicine. So before going into the search, so let me stop here once again for 2 minutes, and we'll take up a questions for database. Then I'm going to talk about how you are going to search for various search engines. Thank you.